the first time since 1969, the Sports Car Club of America's National Championship Runoffs returned to one of their historic homes, Daytona. Welcome to the 52nd SCCA Runoffs presented by Garmin Verb at Daytona International Speedway, brought to you by Mazda. The run for the medals begins now.
And we are at Daytona International Speedway in Daytona Beach, Florida, for coverage of the 2015 SCCA National Championship Runoffs. Alongside Dorsey Schrader, I'm Rick Benjamin. Hayward Wagner has our coverage for these final couple events, as he has all weekend long down on pit road. We've got a great field of Formula Enterprises machines about to come onto the racetrack. 16 of them will do battle here as we get to the final couple of events of 2015. And Doris, every time we come to these runoffs, and we've been coming to these to do television for, gosh, I guess the first one was probably 20 years ago for me, you see drivers and teams and families. This is such a family sport. There are a couple of teams here that I guess you could call professional teams. You'll see some car prep shops that field cars in professional series here occasionally. But for the most part, the entrants here are people with a passion, men, women, children with a passion for this sport, who put all their spare cash into one of these race cars, spend all kinds of time and money and energy to come and run these runoffs and try to win a national championship. And the emotion that I have seen on the faces of a lot of these drivers today as they have won, and in some cases had victory snatched from them by bad luck or by racing incidents, whatever it might be, it's pretty intense.
It is very intense. I mean, I'd say 80% of the field is mom and pop driven, and you spend all the money, like you said, that you have available to spend, and you lay it on the line. And whether it goes good or bad, you did the best you could do.
Absolutely. One of the things we love most about this event, the storylines, the family storylines that you see here at a place like Daytona. Let's get an update from pit road as the cars get ready to roll up onto the racetrack. Here's Hayward.
Guys, the on-again, off-again sunlight here in Daytona is in the off-again setting. Clouds have rolled in, a little bit of breeze, which is fantastic here on pit lane, but it may have an effect on tires, engines in this class. Formula Enterprises obviously is a spec class, and unlike Spec Racer Ford and the Spec Racer Ford third-gen cars, which we have 20 years plus history, this is relatively new. We haven't seen these cars on this type of a racetrack very much before, so we really don't know what we'll see as far as drafting goes. What we do know is that all of your front cars all set their times on the same day, so we should see a lot of parity at the front of this field.
You would think so, and that's an interesting point, Hayward. We hadn't really talked a lot about the differing weather conditions over the course of the week, but time of day that you choose to run. I had a couple of drivers tell me, hey, you know, the key here is to go out early in the morning and get a fast lap.
That is normally true. When the cool conditions prevail, you want to go out there when there's the most grip. When it gets really hot here, it gets greasy and so forth. This we have been blessed with the best weather on this runoffs. I got to tell you, the west coast of Florida right now, the entire length of Florida is getting hammered big time by a low depression there, and it's just staying away from us, not for much longer. I can look forward driving home to the Keys tomorrow in a deluge, I believe.
Well, rain necessity in a lot of parts of the country, and this place, believe it or not, Florida is a place that does suffer from very dry conditions at times. So glad to know that the state's getting enough rain right now, but we're also glad that it apparently is not going to affect our racing here these next 2 hours or so as we wrap up the 2015 runoffs. The Formula E cars rolling away from the pre-grid down at the Turn 4 end of Daytona International Speedway. They'll head through the paddock area, through the garage area if you're a NASCAR fan, and then out toward pit road to be able to come up onto the speedway.
This time of the afternoon, these scattered rain clouds that you see right there in the picture are normal. I mean, we're probably 10 miles off of the ocean, and the ocean, of course, generates a lot of moisture, brings it up. It usually comes over here when in the most inopportune time and dumps it, and then goes back and gets some more. And so here it is, 3 o'clock in the afternoon. It's about an hour away from happy hour when it comes to the rain usually.
Yeah, exactly so. So the field's starting to roll away here on their pace lap before we go green and get the Formula Enterprises National Championship run underway for you here at Daytona International Speedway. Here's your starting lineup for this one. Scott Reddick from Columbus, Ohio. The Ohio Valley region entrant, the 17 car, that's the Alliance Autosport Formula E. Starting on the outside of the front row in the 48, Ryan Norman. He's from Aurora, Ohio, the Comprent Motorsports Formula E. Second row on the inside, Brandon Alexson from Campbell, California, the Dan's Upholstery 83 car. Paul Schneider from Mint Hill, North Carolina, just up the street from where we live, outside Charlotte, the 73 car. That's the Cyvel Images Formula E. Fifth starter, the 61, Reese Everard from Lake Orion, Michigan. the V2 Motorsports Formula E. And starting 6th, Brandon Kennedy in the 14 from Bear, Delaware, the Osinga Construction Formula E. 4th row, Lee Rackley from Clinton, North Carolina, the 79 car, the Castrol Syntec machine. Hannah Zellers from Granger, Indiana, the Hannah Zellers Motorsports 33. She will start in the 8th position. Starting 9th, Dennis Markline from Dodgeville, Wisconsin, the Markline Autobody 23. Going 10th, Marshall Mooney from Vestavia, Alabama, in the 64, the CDS Formula E. 11th starter, Tom Green from Lake Mary, Florida, in the 68. That's the Radiology Associates car. Eric Cruz from Barhamsville, Virginia, in the 86 will line up in 12th spot. Jeff Reed from Vacaville, California, in the 18 will go 13th. That's the Fantasy Junction Formula E. Ray Mason from Blacklick, Ohio, in the 25 starts 14th. Mark Schneider from Pembroke Pines, Florida, will go 15th in the Wildman Motorsports 66. And then Keith McDonald from Ranson, West Virginia, in the 53 car. And he will round out our 16-car starting lineup. These Formula E cars are cool-looking race cars.
They're good-looking race cars, and the class was made to try to keep costs down, have a parity in open-wheel racing, if you will, and with some help from the engine manufacturer and some others, they put together a class that is a class you can buy into and be guaranteed quality. That's something that you don't get very often in racing.
Yeah, it's certainly an important thing. And I think if you're going to, if you have designs on being an open wheel racer, this is a great place to start. These are pretty fast little cars.
Well, they are. Like I said, 2.3 liter engine is pretty big for an open wheel car nowadays. They still have the same kind of tire configuration as a FF 2000 or a FC car. They don't have the big wide tires like an Atlantic car has, nor the kind of power that they have. But they are a very good training tool for open wheel racing.
Formula E cars on the super stretch on their pace lap here at Daytona International Speedway. Around.
Drivers have the ability to change aero. Obviously, you see wings front and rear. You also have sway bars front and rear. You have shocks that can be adjusted. Ride heights, things like that, those are preset. So you're limited to some degree, but you actually get to feel what changes make.
Scott Reddick on the inside of row number 1 in the 17. Norman in the 48 on the outside. Alexson in the 83 inside row number 2. That's the green and white car that you see there, the blue and orange machine. Paul Schneider in the 73 on the high side of the second row. Bottom of the third row inside, the 5th starter, Reese Everhard there in the 61. That is a black and red machine. And then the yellow and red car, Brandon Kennedy, the 14 on the outside, starting in the 6th position outside row number 3. 50 miles of racing, 40 minutes by time. If we have any problems on the racetrack, it's been a pretty clean runoffs thus far. We've had a couple of incidents, a couple of full course yellows, but not bad for 2.5 days of racing. And at this point, certainly glad to say nobody has been injured or anything close to that. Green flag is in the air, and we are racing in Formula Enterprises. And Reddick brings him down over the tri-oval, over the stripe to turn 1. Looks like he will lead into 1.
These cars will draft well with one another. They all punch an equal size. Oh,
whoa.
One of the cars out wide. Cold tires, got caught off there, but a good recovery.
That might be Norman. It was the outside pole sitter. It was Norman in the 48. Some dust being kicked up back there. The 73 car on the move. That's Paul Schneider. Started 5th on the inside in that orange and blue machine.
We've been racing since 9 o'clock this morning. Like I said, it's 2:30, 3 o'clock in the afternoon. So you got to know that this racetrack has got a lot of debris, spent rubber stuff to the outside. You don't want to go out there, and I think that's exactly what we saw down there in turn 1.
17 of Reddick up front, move for second spot there. The 61, that's the 4th place starter, Reese Everhard on the inside. Everhard picking off second spot, so on the move with the first lap here.
Key word on the first lap is patience. No need to get in any kind of a crazy situation yet. Wait till you get up on this banking and see what kind of drafting situation we have. Limited time at this racetrack, first time here for these cars ever. Last time that we ran a runoffs was 1969 here. These would have been real fast back
Absolutely. Scott Reddick and Reese Everhard 1-2, and they've got a draft going as they come through the banking. Check that. That is not, that's the 83 car, looks like. That would be Brandon Alexson. Reddick in the 17 is up front. That's the white car.
This is a case where you don't want to bump draft, but you do want to get as close as possible without making the contact. Of course, if you made contact, it'd be your nose, which is carbon fiber, up against the gearbox, which is aluminum, and the carbon fiber will not hold up for long.
Working lap 1. Nice
this is good right
working
here.
Together here.
Very nice.
The 83 of Alexson leading this 2-car draft as they try to get closer to the leaders coming to the tri-oval. Scott Reddick continues to lead. We'll check what the gap is for you. over the second place car.
These engines are dynoed, and they take a reading on the horsepower, the torque, and so forth, and then they have a small adjustments that they can make to make them equal. They're very, very close. Another car out wide loses ground in that effort.
Leaders in the S's. Reddick is up front. Reese Everhard in second. Brandon Alexson in the 83 car running in third spot. Big shuffle here as Alexson moves through on the bottom. The 48 taken over. That's Ryan Norman's car on the inside. Norman going to the head of this group of cars.
Racing pretty hard right there. They're losing ground to the front two because of it.
Big 5-car scramble for third on back. The 83 and fourth spot. That's Alexson's machine, the white and green car. The 14 on the inside. That's Brandon Kennedy trying to make a move and get closer to the top 3 spots. Kennedy in that red and yellow machine. Reddick continuing to lead. Everhard in second spot. Third belongs to Alexson in the 83.
Open wheel cars are so much fun to drive because of the visual aspect of it. You're sitting in the car, you can see those front suspension going up and down, tires rolling. You can see all around, you can smell things because you're not cooped up inside of a closed cockpit smelling carbon fiber, or not carbon fiber, but carbon dust or whatever brakes you're using. It's sensorily a much more fun class to drive.
Oh, absolutely. You can see a lot of what's going on around you in front and behind you, which makes it a lot of fun.
Reddick is only worried about what's behind him, which is fading in his mirrors right now.
Buddy Baker used to tell me, hey, the best view of the racetrack is the one through a clear windshield.
Yeah, that's a fact right there. Buddy was a great guy.
Yes, he was.
I had some experience
Oh,
here.
trouble. Somebody off in the infield. No, just kicking up some dust, it looks like, in the bus stop
with
there.
Buddy, Daytona 500, just a gentle giant. Great guy.
Absolutely the case. Leaders in the tri-oval. Scott Reddick leading. And Reese Everhard giving chase in the 61. Side by side for position. That looks like it's back around 5th spot.
It's going to be a pass attempt for turn 1. He just popped out way too early.
The 73 and the 68. That's Schneider in the 73. Thomas Green in the 68. Side by side for 5th position there momentarily.
Thomas Green in a hurry to try to make the pass, pops out, loses his momentum, and stalls out.
Working lap number 3.
You know, you would think an open wheel car like this, aerodynamically speaking, as far as drag numbers go, would be clean and better. It's actually much worse than an envelope body car, because those tires, all 4 of them, are throwing a huge vortex, just like if you see in the rain when the rainwater's flying up in the air, well, the air's doing the very same thing. And they run out of power to push that car as a result of that. If they had fenders, they'd be quicker yet.
Brandon Kennedy of the 14 on the move, trying to get up around Thomas Green for 6th position there. Kennedy had charged up into the top 5 earlier. Didn't have a good lap on the high banks, though. We'll see what Green can do here in the 68. And then you've got the 14 car, Brandon Kennedy, directly in front of him.
There's always a compromise with a winged car here as to how flat do you want to put that wing to run fast on the banking versus what you're going to have to pay in the infield as a result of not having any downforce. You lose braking, first of all, quite a bit, significant loss in braking, and then you lose the ability to have grip overall on the infield.
Green and Kennedy side by side fighting for position again here at Daytona when you're up on the oval. Not how you want to be approaching this, in trouble.
Good slide control, but it slows the car. You see it broke its momentum. Loses probably 5-6 car lengths, and it'll take it a while to catch back up again.
It's the 83 of Brandon Alexson.
Got to be so precise and smooth with these cars.
You may have to go through the dirt. You don't want to drive like you're on dirt in these cars.
No, absolutely don't. They just, you know, because everybody who's running clean and running smooth is not scrubbing speed, and all the cars accelerate the same. So whatever you give up is it's hard to take it back.
Green and Kennedy still going at it back there around 6th, 7th position. Set the field for you as they come across the stripe. Reddick is your leader in the 17. Everhard second in the 61. There's Reddick in the white car.
Reddick just has forgotten that everybody else is racing.
2.6 seconds to the good right now.
Like you said, he's come here with several different cars, and he's unable so far to gain his championship. So I know he's determined.
Ended up with a couple of mishaps earlier in the weekend for a guy who's been doing this successfully for a very long time. Scott Reddick at the moment in his FE car doing a terrific job. There's your 2nd place car, the 61 of Reese Everhard, the red and black machine. 3rd spot belongs to Ryan Norman of the 48. Here comes Norman into view briefly.
Something to be said, too, about getting 3 times the track time as any of your competitors.
Sure.
He's been out there in 3 different classes now, and so he is reading the racetrack as racetrack goes away or it gains or loses grip. He's been there all day running.
Brandon Alexson in the white and green 83 trying to track down this car, the 48 of Ryan Norman, for third and a potential podium finish here.
Surprised these guys are not just glued to the very bottom of the racetrack. They tend to go up when they come onto the banking, and that's so they don't scrub speed off. But I'd have that left side wheel right on the yellow line if it were me.
Yeah. Well, in the draft, I'm surprised has not been that much of a factor here in this race.
Now, it does help quite a bit, so it's surprising that they're not getting a big toe. Everybody's trimmed out.
14. Yeah, that's certainly been part of the Formula Car action here this weekend. The prevailing wisdom seems to be lay those wings as flat as you can.
Absolutely. Get all the drag out of the car that you can get out of it. And with that, it's not punching as big a hole in the air, so it doesn't give you the same net result.
Scott Reddick continues to lead. It's your second place car of Everhard.
Everhard looks like he's got a run going right now, though. It looks like he's actually getting pulled up into the back.
Brandon Alexson back there in the 83.
Yeah, look at him now.
Up behind Ryan Norman.
Pops to the inside. That was a really nice move. Got it nice and close to the gearbox, and in the very last moment, popped out there, so he didn't stall the car.
Norman in the 48 opened the door and comes back in, the outside in repass into the S's.
That's the dangest thing. You're patting yourself on the back thinking you did so good, and then all of a sudden the guy sneaks by you again.
So the 48 car back into third. Ryan Norman giving up that spot as they came through the tri-oval. Alexson popping to the bottom, using the draft to slingshot inside and take over third, but then as they exited one, Alexson washed wide and Norman was able to go right back through on the bottom.
The old over-under.
Yep.
If you're getting past, you're getting past, and if you can go as deep as humanly possible and then put your brakes on and sucker the guy into going another foot further, he won't be able to keep the car down in the middle of the corner. Yeah. You can just wait for his tail to pass your nose, turn left, and just drive under it. It's wonderful when that works.
Sure. The key is to make it stick. I mean, that's what you really need to do is put them in your rearview mirrors and keep them there then. And here's a wave.
Hand signals, follow me.
Norman back to Alexson. Come on, close in. Let's hook up and see if we can go here.
And don't mess with me. Let's go out. Let's catch the front. We're losing our ability to try to win.
Last time around, these two cars, Norman about 2 seconds behind the runner-up Everhard, as Reddick continues to build his lead. 3.5 seconds last time as we work lap number 5.
3 wide getting into the chicane back behind these guys. I think they all made it through, though.
Up onto the banking once more. And again, Alexson just not quite able to stay up there with Norman and hook up effectively.
Now, we saw that earlier in the day, too, where the drafting partner can't keep up. And that's a big problem, because the longer that you're apart like that, you're not gaining any ground.
You want to take full advantage. You want to do it around most of the oval if you can, and then settle down at the bus stop, get back at it up on the bank.
We saw Cliff White and Spec Racer Ford do that.
Yeah.
He actually dragged his brakes so that the second place car could stay with him, so he had the advantage of the draft, which is bigger than the ability to run by yourself by the guy.
14 car on the outside. Brandon Kennedy in 8th spot, battling here with the 68. Thomas Green, Lee Rackley in the mix there as well.
Got to watch those outside passes down in turn 1. You get out there and the guy that's inside you moves you a little bit to the outside. You get in that gray area and it's all over.
7th, 8th, and 9th, 10th as well, all in play here. There's the 79 car of Rackley.
Ooh.
Green in the 68 car held 6th right now.
Came across the curb and bottomed the chassis right there. It's a 6th place through 10th.
Tom Green in the 68 car. It's got the blue side pods. Some green trim on that car. 79, Rackley, Castrol Syntec machine. Good fight for position here in Formula E, working lap number 6, almost to halfway.
Spec classes can be so darn frustrating because, you just, everything you do, everybody else can do just as equally as you do. And then, you're just trying to get an 1/8 of an inch here. 1/16 of an inch there. Just, that's the increments that you're working at. You're not getting a car length or 2 car lengths. You're just trying to get anything.
And even though this 2.3-liter motor's got a little more power, moved to the outside here by the 14 of Kennedy, trying to drive around the 68 of Green and take over 6th, headed to the bus stop, and he's got him.
Good draft by right there.
You make a mistake here, and you could spend 2 laps trying to make it.
Oh, yeah, easily. And as soon as you feel the mistake, you already know.
Yeah.
You got, oh, God, now I got to do this,
Sure. And you hear drivers talk all the time about hitting your marks. you miss a mark here, you know where you want to enter a corner, and you miss it by a foot or so, and man, it can take you forever.
It eats you up, and then you have to stay calm. You have to go, okay, I made the mistake. Now stay calm and go back to work and get your 1/8 of an inch here and get your inch there.
Speaking of back to work, the 48 car, Ryan Norman in third. He's got his hands full with the 83 right here.
Sure does.
Watching the top couple of runners funnel through the S's in the infield here at Daytona International Speedway. Reddick and Everard 1-2, Norman third, 7.5 seconds behind the leader. Reddick's lead 5 seconds plus. The 83 car right there. It's the 4th place machine of Brandon Alexson, and he's got his hands full indeed, because the 5th place car, Paul Schneider, alongside him now.
Side by side through the kink will slow them up pretty substantially. I would think, it's okay that you give each other enough courtesy and respect each other enough to do that kind of a thing, but it doesn't help anybody.
Norman in the 48 car, your 3rd place machine. Then you've got Alexson in 4th, Schneider in 5th. Good 3-way battle here as we approach halfway at Daytona International Speedway. Quick break for us. Right back with more of Formula E coverage, the 2015 SCCA National Championship Runoffs.
The 2015 SCCA National Championship Runoffs, presented by Garmin Verb, is being brought to you by Mazda. Mazda, driving matters.
16 wide eyes. Driver's license, took 2 tries, bought a Roadster secondhand. Playing parties with the band, loaded up, off to state. Hijinks, tailgates, starter, midsize, family cruising. Now in the garage, something new reminds you of when you were you.
It's time to face facts. You're a gearhead. You wish the freeway on-ramp was your personal racetrack. Well, buckle up, buddy, because the Sports Car Club of America wants you. With 40,000 members and events across the country, the SCCA has all the excitement you can handle. Dance the blacktop two-step with SCCA Solo. Get down and dirty with SCCA Rallycross. Or go wheel-to-wheel with SCCA Club Racing. Hit the track with the SCCA, where America's best drivers race.
Welcome back to Daytona International Speedway with Dorsey Schrader. I'm Rick Benjamin. Hayward Wagner with our coverage on pit road. Formula E in the spotlight and trouble for a contender.
Yeah, slow car here, 66 there.
Mark
Had a
Schneider.
spin, I hear, by himself, just getting back up to speed.
Schneider in the 66 was running up in 12th position, spun and got the car refired, headed in the right direction. He will rejoin at the back of the field. The 73 here and the 83 doing battle. Schneider in the 73, Tom Green in the 83. 48 of Ryan Norman in 3rd position.
These three have been going at it the entire race.
Yes,
having
they
a
have.
good go of it.
The 73 of Schneider has moved up to 4th now, getting around the 83 car, Brandon Alex. So we'll see if he can hang on. Paul Schneider hoping to cash in here. 7 laps complete. We're working lap 8 of 14 at Daytona. Formula E cars, as Dorsey has suggested pretty much throughout our coverage, a good idea in these lower bore cars to run at the bottom, use that double line and get down there and run the shortest way around the high banks if you can.
You're kind of forced to follow whoever's in front of you. You know, if he decides not to run that bottom line, you're better off to go with him wherever he goes than to just go ahead and stay on the bottom. But that being said, once you get up to him, if he doesn't know where he's going, pass him.
73 of Schneider, that blue and orange with the white nose, that blue and orange machine, up a position now, and here comes the 83 of Alexson trying to take 4th back as they draft together. Key here is, can we get back into business here and close in? We got one car coming down to pit road. Not sure if that's not Everard.
Well, somebody in trouble there for sure comes in.
It might be Reese Everard, our 2nd place runner.
And you wouldn't pit for any reason whatsoever other than something bad.
Well,
He's
visor
done.
up. Looks like he is all set. Another car has been on pit road. We'll try to get a handle for you on what car number that is.
Yeah, that's, you don't come in there to get an adjustment or to get
There's the
anything.
48. So Ryan Norman moves up. That was Reese Everhard, we believe, in the 61. So Norman advances to 2nd.
Mechanical issue of some sort.
Tough break for the driver who was 2nd behind leader Scott Reddick, who is now 9.5 seconds to the good over these various battles.
Oh, he's just devastated.
Tough break indeed for Everhard. Doesn't even want to put the visor on.
No, I've been in that same situation. I want to be alone. I don't want to even talk about it.
Side-by-side action from position a little further back. The 73 and the 83 still going at it. Paul Schneider, Brandon Alexson. With Everard's retirement, looks like the shifter let go in that car.
Oh, my, look at that. Now you got to wonder. It's broken off. It's supposed to be right there in the center. But, you know, did it break? Did somebody help it? You know, whatever. It doesn't make any difference. He's stuck in whatever gear he's in.
And decided not to try to
you couldn't do anything.
Nurse it around. If you're not in high gear, you're not going to be able to.
Even if it's in high gear, you're going to end up burning out the clutch trying to do something in the bus stop or whatever. Turn 3.
Schneider and Alexson, the hand signals here saying, let's stay hooked together, try to see if we can run down Ryan Norman.
I guess 4th would be the best one to be stuck in. You could probably dwindle around out there like that, but that'd be about it.
You might be able to finish if you were in 4th.
Come on, push, he says, push.
Schneider and Alexson, nose to tail here. Now, this is the kind of thing that could break a shifter.
Well, that's what I was talking about before. You don't want to hit. You want to be as close to hitting as possible. But when you've got that shifter hanging off the back of the gearbox, you don't want to be hitting on that unless you want to, you know.
Not at all. Ryan Norman in second spot right there. This is 2nd, 3rd, and 4th. Nose to tail pretty much through the tri-oval. Norman way high here.
Somewhat surprised they haven't put some sort of bumper device so it can't be
like in a Formula V.
Like in a Formula V, correct.
Norman on the 48 on the inside, having trouble holding his car at the bottom of the racetrack, it seems. And last time by, the gap about, 4/10 again between 2nd and 3rd. 4th is right there in the draft as well. So Scott Reddick has said, see you, boys, but Norman, Schneider, and Alexson with a lot to fight for. 2nd, 3rd, and 4th right now, working lap number 10.
We talked about that exhaust pipe placement, too, on these open wheel cars like that. I mean, that people don't think about it, but those exhaust pipes on Formula Fords in the old days were up high right about your face. Well, you couldn't have a worse situation.
Yeah.
You know,
one of the cars going off there. Schneider, the 3rd place car, went way wide, didn't go off the racetrack, but looked like he was headed that way.
Got in the dirt and couldn't get it back.
Gives up 3rd spot to Alexson. So podium spots very much up for grabs here in these last few laps.
These exhausts come out low underneath where, you know, if you did run into the back of the car with the front of your car, it wouldn't poke you or it wouldn't poke the car. Here comes the draft.
Let's see what Schneider can do here. He was able to recover from that near spin and close right back in on the 83 for 3rd.
You know, they're trying to help one another here. He doesn't want to pass yet. That is pushing right now, too. So his nose was definitely on that gearbox shifter.
Alexson and Schneider closing in on Ryan Norman. 2, 3, 4, the positions that these 3 drivers occupy here in Formula E. Get down to the final few laps in the last couple of races in the 2015 SCCA National Championship Runoffs presented by Garmin Verb.
Most of those shifters are usually on the front side of a plate. You know, they're where you can't get to them at the back. Ooh, that car just all
Scott Reddick in the 17.
Why he headed up the hill like that?
Well, I'm wondering, you wouldn't think these cars would want to walk up the banking.
No,
they don't have enough force, you wouldn't think, to do that.
He might be bored.
Maybe. Maybe he sees a little bit of moisture down somewhere. You know, so you'll come along and see a line that.
Or maybe he saw something on the track, debris or something.
Yeah.
He decided to move around, get around.
2nd, 3rd, and 4th still up for grabs here, and you know, without putting too fine a point on this, you fight hard if you're 4th or 5th in one of these races, thinking, well, I want to get to the podium, and it's possible. We've seen a lot of cases this weekend where a driver leading late has had something happen to a car. Somebody in a podium spot will give up that spot with a couple of laps to go.
It doesn't always look like they're driving as hard as they are. Trust me, it's national championships. They're running the car as hard as they can be run. They're just doing a very, very good job of keeping the car straight where you don't see the speed.
Yeah, exactly so. 2nd, 3rd, and 4th still up for grabs, working lap number 11 here.
And again, spec cars by their nature, you know, they're not dramatic to watch because everything happens in such small increments.
Yeah.
You don't see any dive bombs. You know, you see when they get into a brake zone and the car bobbles or wiggles or coming off a corner and gets a little wiggle. That just shows you they're at 100% right there and they're just at the edge of getting in trouble. That's what that movement's about. But like I say, most of these guys very, very good at keeping the car straight and tidy, which is what you want it to do.
Absolutely. Norman in 2nd, half a second ahead of Alexson in 3rd. Last time they crossed the timing line at start-finish. Schneider 4th, Tom Green still 5th. Rackley is 6th. Kennedy, Zellers Dennis Markline and Marshall Mooney, your top 10 here in Formula E.
It's fun sometimes to take these archives of races and put them in slow motion, and then you can see the slip angle on the car. You can see the cars are not straight. They look like they're straight, but they're sliding the back end to some degree all the time.
Yeah. Well, and a lot of people think, you'll see hands on a wheel sometimes, and you think the car's straight. Why are your hands moving? Why is the driver's hands moving so much? You are doing a lot of work to keep that car relatively straight.
All the corrections. You see these guys, if you're concentrating on their hands on the wheel, they're never straight for very long. They're always moving around.
Second, third, and fourth still up for grabs here in Formula E.
Hands keep me alive.
That's
66.
it. Mark
Needed
Schneider.
some more hands a minute ago.
Mark Schneider in the 66 off again, second time here today. That's outside the bus stop, I do believe, on the backstretch.
I believe you're right. Had another semi-spin or a moment.
It's the 48 car of Norman, your second place runner.
That was a big slide right there.
Third place car of Alexson, fourth is Schneider. Norman started on the outside pole. He is from Aurora, Ohio, the Comprent Motorsports Formula E. Brandon Alexson sitting third in the 83 car, qualified there. So things have kind of settled down now to the qualifying order. There was a lot of shuffling behind Reddick in the first several laps. These three cars had to fight back to get back to second, third, and fourth.
Yep, and Reddick just now is gone. I mean, he's no pressure at all.
11 seconds is the lead for Scott Reddick.
Oh,
sideways, don't want to throw it away now.
Well, that was just dirt. That was one of those prime examples I was talking about. People have been off, they dropped their wheels off, and so that was the first time Scott got down in there, and the racetrack was covered with dust. It made him get sideways. It's funny because Sterling Moss once said that you'll never drive a perfect race lap. It'll never, ever happen. You'll make lots of mistakes during the course of a lap. It's who can figure out the mistake earliest and fix it.
Oh, trouble.
And speaking of mistake, that's
four
four cars.
Around,
That's all the cars in the front.
The 14 going by, Brandon Kennedy, looked like that was the 83 car of Alexson, perhaps.
It was green, too, I believe.
The 79 there, Lee Rackley, your fifth place car. There's the 14 and the 68. They've been battling. That's Kennedy and Tom Green back there, sixth and seventh. Take another look at it. The 48 and the 83, your second and third place cars here. And we will roll that for you momentarily as we go back to our coverage on track here, side by side for position. A little further back. Now let's take a look. Here's your second place car, Norman in the 48. Third place car now is Schneider in the 73. These positions seem secure at this point. Scott Reddick still your leader by 12.5 seconds, working lap 13. You'll see the white flag next time by here at Daytona International Speedway. So a little skirmish here on one of the parts of the race course. Taking some of the top 10 competitors and giving them some problems here late in the go. Schneider in third, all by himself. Now everybody's the incident that happened is separated out the top three.
Obviously, now everybody's just running wherever they are, position-wise. I don't think there's much of a race left. But they were going for, someone was going for a pass getting into the bus stop and caused a reaction that I think took four cars into.
It did. We'll try to sort that out for you, maybe show it to you again here when we get an opportunity. But here's Reddick in the 17. Up onto the banking one more time. You'll see the white flag this time by. The Ohio driver has not put a wheel wrong in Formula E. Had his struggles earlier in the weekend in a couple of other categories. Looks as though Scott Reddick is on his way to a national championship here in Formula E action at these 2015 SCCA National Championship runoffs. White flag in the air. Reddick seeing the white, needing one lap to go here at Daytona around this 3.5-mile layout.
So I'm not going to quit driving.
Long way back.
I'm not going to quit driving until I win something.
There you go.
There's your second place all alone because of that skirmish.
Yeah. Third spot there is Schneider. 11.5 seconds the gap between first and second. 73 of Paul Schneider. 15.1 seconds, so another 3.6 back. Here's what happened. Here's the 83.
He's already,
and then two more cars going around, the 79
that's all
and the 14.
Dirt on the racetrack.
Yeah.
The whole racetrack was covered in clutter from, I assume, the 83, who must have spun through there. All those guys, like I said, last lap, it had plenty of grip. This lap, none.
Brandon Allison there getting in trouble first in the 83. He was a top 3 car.
Yeah, I think he spun right through the dirt, brought it all up there. Then those guys racing hard for position, you know, we're looking at one another and seeing who could get in the corner first. They dove down in there. It was full of dirt, no grip. Around they went.
Kennedy and Lee Rackley going around as well. Everybody getting collected and getting pointed in the right direction here at Daytona International Speedway. And your leader, Scott Reddick, in the PDI 17, heading to the bus stop one final time. Reddick about half a lap away from making some history here at Daytona International Speedway.
Well, after his last slip through there, he'll just slow it way down. Don't want to do that again.
Yeah, no need to stand on the throttle at this point.
No, that was a heart attack last lap. Let's not do that. That's the thing with that bus stop chicane. I mean, every time you get to it, you cannot assume it's going to be good.
Yeah.
It won't be. And a lot of guys have been caught off down there. Right at the bottom of the track, cars free, no problems.
Reddick sees the checkered flag, and he has won the national championship in Formula Enterprises. Congratulations to Scott Reddick from Ohio. Heading to the flag, some 12 seconds back, Ryan Norman in the 48 car, who qualified on the outside pole. He will win silver medal honors. Then your third place car will be Paul Schneider in the 73. Schneider picking up the bronze here today in Formula E at Daytona International Speedway. So Scott Reddick qualified on the pole in the 17 car and did not look back for the entire 50 miles.
Had the field covered for sure, ran at his own pace, did it his own way, and like we were talking about, he's run 3 races this weekend, I believe, and finally comes home with another national championship.
Reddick to the checkered flag. Your winner, Norman, is second. Schneider is third. Brandon Kennedy survives a couple of tangles to end up fourth, 28 seconds back. Tom Green fifth in the 68. Lee Rackley shown sixth in the 79. Brandon Allison seventh in the 83. Dennis Markline eighth in the 23. Marshall Mooney ninth in the 64. Hannah Zellers 10th in the 33. Gives up that spot on the last lap. Ray Mason ends up 10th in the 25. Zellers 11th in the 33. And then you've got Eric Cruz, and it should be Jeff Reed next in line. Reed not quite over the finish line yet, as Reddick comes around on his cool-down lap here at Daytona. Reed in 13th, Keith McDonald, Mark Schneider, and Reese Everhard with that broken shifter. And a heartbreak because Everhard was up in the top 3 when all that happened.
Yeah, that is a shame. We didn't get to see if he had help with the breakage of that or if it just was something that happens.
But Scott Reddick rolling around the racetrack at half speed. Flies are up, waving to the fans, waving to the corner workers. And again, we congratulate and thank all the SCCA officials, all the volunteers who are officials within SCCA in the various regions who come to these runoffs every year to make sure everybody is safe and that these events run smoothly and on time. And we greatly appreciate all of their support here at Daytona.
Lot of them too.
Man, it does.
And all they get is a couple of free, meals and really not much. They have to do this out of their own pocket.
You do this for the love of the sport.
Oh, absolutely, you do. And they have their favorite drivers, and the drivers, if they're any good at all, will have their favorite corner workers too.
Yeah. Always neat to have all the members of the SCCA family gather in one place each year for this event. And, it's a lot of fun to spend time around them, that's for sure. So
it's been entertaining that they're moving it around again. I mean, for so many years it was a Road Atlanta only, and now then we went to
we had the Mid-Ohio years.
Mid-Ohio for quite a while, and now we're bouncing around a little bit.
So last year Laguna Seca, this year Daytona, and next year we'll be back at Mid-Ohio.
Yep, back again, and that'll make a lot of people happy being back in the Midwest.
Yeah, after Road America a couple of years ago.
Here's what started that fracas over there it was Green who had the moment.
Take one more look at it, have a little different angle there for you. Yeah, there was definitely some dirt up on the asphalt there.
So he actually wasn't the cause of the dirt. It was there before he got there. But, of course, he wasn't the only one to be caught out by it, as right now the rest of the boys come in.
Then you had one more car cut way left to avoid all the
That was a good
carnage.
avoidance, really. He had 3 cars spinning in front of him, and there was really nowhere for him to go but left.
So yeah, that tangle took some top 5 contenders out of the mix toward the end of the race. Reddick, Norman, and Schneider, your top 3 qualifiers, end up 1, 2, and 3. Norman and Schneider had slipped back quite a bit, had to rally, and that tangle late in the race in the bus stop, that series of spins really, was what opened the door for Norman and Schneider to get back to the top 3 spots and get back to podium finishing positions here at Daytona International Speedway. So the cars back on pit road now. Prototype 1 coming up to wrap up our coverage here of 2015's SCCA National Championship Runoffs. That'll be coming your way in just a couple of moments. Hayward Wagner getting in position down on pit road to talk to the top runners here in Formula Enterprises. Scott Reddick's car, you see it there on the right-hand side of your screen, the 2 Formula E cars in the center. And you can see Reddick in the 17 talking to some crew and officials. Looks like they're trying to decide where he should take that car. Ryan Norman, who ran second today, we'll wait just a moment, get this sorted out. Hayward, standing by with our runner-up.
Ryan Norman, second place here on the podium at the SCCA Runoffs. Another youngster doing well here today. Looked like you had a pretty clear track for most of your ride. A few things at the beginning that got you off to a little bit of an exciting start.
Yeah, I got caught up with like 3rd and 4th place for the beginning of the race, and they held me back a little bit because I was just kind of focused on them not getting around me because I wanted them to draft me so we can catch up to Scott. But yeah, after a while I kind of got by myself and just kind of got into rhythm. Scott was already way too far ahead to catch him, but we were messing around with our sway bar a little bit and kind of struggling to find grip, but overall it's a pretty fun race.
Well, congratulations to you on a really strong second place finish here at the Runoffs. I'm going to grab Paul Schneider real quick, and then we'll go up and get our winner. Paul, a podium finish here at the Runoffs, bronze this year. You look like you're pretty happy with that result.
I'm super happy. I've been trying for years to get on the podium, so yeah, I'm definitely happy to be here. Also, hi to Eliza at home and Mommy. I miss you guys.
So a big congratulations to you getting on the podium. We're going to go up front and see if we can get a word with Scott. Congratulations, and hi to the family at home. And now we're going to cross back over to the championship side of pit lane. Scott Reddick, our champion here in Formula Enterprises. You were fast getting everywhere but to right here. Some conversations along the way. Congratulations, folks, congratulating you.
Yeah, I mean, I got to thank my entire crew, Alliance Auto Sport team. I had a lot of people working very hard to ensure this victory.
How happy were you when you looked in the mirrors and saw those guys behind you fighting on those opening laps?
Well, I mean, I knew they would be able to stay with me if they were drafting and tucked in there, and Reese was right there with me, and Alexson was right there early in the draft, but I knew if I got a couple of clean laps to the infield, I felt like I'd be able to walk away.
Well, big congratulations to you. I imagine you got a person or two you need to thank real quick.
Yeah, I got to thank my team, Alliance Auto Sport, my parents, my wife, Rebecca, Redline Oil, Hoosier Racing Tires, and PDI Communications. Thank you.
All right, well, that's your champion here in Formula Enterprises.
Nicely done for Scott Reddick. Didn't put a wheel wrong through the entire 50 miles.
No, he had it all figured out for sure, and he ran his race exactly like he had it planned. Looking at that results there, Ryan Norman, of course, this would have been a lot tighter had not the down in the bus stop happened.
Absolutely. Yeah. Schneider ends up third, another 5 or so seconds back. Kennedy and Green, your top 5. Lee Rackley, Brandon Alexson, who ran in the top 3 earlier, Dennis Markline, Marshall Mooney, and Ray Mason, the rest of your top 10. So a very competitive battle for a while before Reddick just drove away from the rest of the field in Formula Enterprises, winning the national championship here at Daytona International Speedway. Clean start, some drivers testing the high side. A couple of guys wanted to go maybe 3 wide and try to get a run. An attempt made there by Norman on the initial start off the green flag, but he ran way wide. That let Reddick set sail.
Another really, really well-driven race by all the people involved in it. We didn't have any big incidents. We had a couple spins, no contact. The agony of defeat, we talk about it. You try your hardest. You just drive your guts out here, and the shifter broke.
Yeah, crew members, family giving Reese Everhart some encouragement after he had to coast to pit road, running second at the time. Nobody had a thing for Scott Reddick in the 17 out of Ohio. Reddick, as you just heard a moment ago, coming to a very strong victory in Formula Enterprises here in the 2015 SCCA National Championship Runoffs at Daytona Beach in Florida, Daytona International Speedway. All right, we will be back with you. Our final race of the weekend is coming up. That'll be Prototype 1. We'll get to that in just a short time at Daytona International Speedway. For Dorsey Schrader, Haywood Wagner, I'm Rick Benjamin, congratulating your Formula E champion, Scott Reddick out of Ohio. There is more to come at Daytona.
The 2015 SCCA National Championship Runoffs, presented by Garmin Verb, is being brought to you by Mazda. Mazda, driving matters.
16 wide eyes. Driver's license, took 2 tries, bought a Roadster secondhand. Playing parties with the band, loaded up, off to state. Hijinks, tailgates, starter, midsize. Family cruising. Now in the garage, something new reminds you of when you were you.
It's time to face facts. You're a gearhead. You wish the freeway on-ramp was your personal racetrack. Well, buckle up, buddy, because the Sports Car Club of America wants you. With 40,000 members and events across the country, the SCCA has all the excitement you can handle. Dance the blacktop two-step with SCCA Solo. Get down and dirty with SCCA Rallycross. Or go wheel-to-wheel with SCCA Club Racing. Hit the track with the SCCA, where America's best drivers race.